dude.
Wish that I was on a rocket top down in the Tennessee hills.
What's up, y'all? Thanks for joining me again. Let me start out by saying thank you to everyone who watched the last video. At the time, I was lucky to get a few hundred views on each video. I never expected to get 60,000. Had I known that video was going to blow up, I would have definitely done some things differently, but I didn't. There was a lot of discussion in the comments, so let's pick through those and discuss it a little bit more. One of the complaints I got was that the title was clickbait and not the most dangerous road in America. The big problem with my claim is that I didn't do the math to back it up, so here it is. I did a quick Google search and it told me that the I-4 between Tampa and Daytona Beach has the most fatalities per year. However, total numbers per year don't tell the whole story. I wanted to know what it was per 100,000 vehicles. I did some digging and found that the I-4 gets about 73 million vehicles per year. I used a 20-year sample size for the Dragon. The average from 2001 to 2020 is about 367,000 vehicles per year. I found a study that claims that the I-4 had 150 deaths over a 4-year period, or 37.5 deaths per year. From 2001 to 2021, 57 people died on the tail of the Dragon, or about 2.714 per year. What this boils down to is that per 100,000 people using the I-4, 0.05137 people die. When compared to the tail of the Dragon, 0.7395 people die. You are 14 times more likely to die on the tail of the Dragon than the I-4. One of the most prevalent comments was that the road isn't dangerous. It's the riders that make it dangerous. And this is a bit of a nothing comment for me, and I don't really know exactly what to do with it. This is a dangerous place on both sides of the coin. Plenty of very responsible and experienced riders have accidents here, and some of them even pass away. Dangerous riding is a big piece to the puzzle, but it ignores the inherent danger of the place. On October 6, 2024, Ken Hicks went off the road around mile marker 6 while riding solo, with no outside factors. According to reports, he ended up in a ravine and was presumed deceased on impact. His motorcycle and body was found several days later. His body was being eaten by a bear. This place is not a joke. It has real and terrifying consequences. I was able to gather some information based on a post made by his family in the Tail of the Dragon Facebook group. They paint a picture of a motorcyclist with over 50 years of experience and was riding the same motorcycle for the past 20 years. You can be Valentino Rossi and still die here. The community overwhelmingly agreed that this place is very dangerous. Some riders who experienced the loss firsthand shared their stories. Mark Math said, "I've been riding the Tail of the Dragon since before it was the Tail of the Dragon. In the early 2000 years, a sport bike flew off the road and killed a 5-year-old boy. I keep that in mind." This is one of the worst stories I've heard about the Dragon. It's terrible enough that an innocent bystander was killed, but absolutely horrific whenever you find out it was a child. I've not seen a child anywhere near the Dragon during my visits, but it's definitely a grim reminder of this place's dark history. We had a pretty lengthy debate about some comments I made about riding solo versus riding with a group. I recommended that it was probably better to ride solo or only picking an experienced rider to go with. Now, this comment wasn't particularly welcomed by the community, especially after Ken Hicks' death where he passed riding solo. I did go through a period where I heavily reconsidered my stance on this, and here's where I landed. You really need to decide, what kind of accident do I want to have? There's pros and cons to each decision. When I'm riding in a group, I tend to do exactly what the rider in front of me is doing, so if they make a mistake, I will too. Sometimes the rider in front of me is going too fast for me, but I feel obligated to match that pace even if I'm sliding around and making mistakes. Plus, I've also been on group rides where this kind of thing happens. I'd rather just do my own thing. And I've gone through most things in my life alone, so this isn't a new thing for me. The downsides are not being able to get proper medical care since no one witnessed your crash. There's no cell service out here, so it's not like you can call for an ambulance. If you're new to the Dragon, one of the hardest things to learn is the corner layout. It's very easy to blow a corner and run straight off into a ravine. Riding with a buddy minimizes those risks. So just do what you think is best for how you ride motorcycles. You can't plan for every eventuality, but you can do your best. I did have someone on Reddit comment this. The first time I rode the tail of the Dragon, I got hit by an 18-wheeler that crossed over the center line. It wrecked a really good bike and put me in a wheelchair for a while, but I rode it again the next year when I went back to settle the lawsuit with the trucking company. You just can't live in fear. That reminded me of one of the major issues the Dragon is experiencing lately. 18-wheelers have been banned on the Dragon since 2015. Some of the corners are too sharp for them to make without crossing the entire road. Occasionally you'd see one sneak through, but after the terrible Asheville floods in September, it's been a huge problem. The state had to come in and tow these trucks out every time they get stuck, which can be as much as several times a week. It would make sense if they were transporting much-needed supplies to Asheville, but the road just can't handle the vehicles over 30 foot. It's just another thing to look out for. But with all of that being said, I'm still going to go back. I just really like this road, and for me it's second to none. I plan on filming a video in the spring exploring some Dragon alternatives in the area. So if you're still here, drop a comment down below of your favorite roads around the Dragon, and I'll hit them up in that video. I appreciate y'all so much for watching this week, and I'll see you in the next one.